everybody. We are here with Dehn and Angeline from Ovtrenoir, recording live or recording for a Consouling Sounds special. And we're very happy to have you two on board. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
So, I mean, for all our audience who maybe do not know which role you two have in Ovtrenoir, could you just explain in a few words what you do for the band or in the band?
Sure. Do you want me to start? Yeah.
Ladies first.
Please. Okay. So I play bass and I do some backing vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And I play guitars and backing vocals.
Okay. So first of all, of course, I have to ask that Ovtrenoir, for all the non-French speaking people out there, what is the meaning of the name?
Yeah. I can try to explain, and Vincent, you can add if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So the name of the band comes from the French painter Pierre Soulages, and it's related to a series of paintings that he did, and in black only. He used black only, but even if he used black only, he was able to, I would say, reveal light and different colors in it.
So it's a different kind of black, right?
Yeah, we can say so. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any reason behind the capitalization of the name? Why is it already in big capitals and without a U, but with a V?
So yeah, the font is an old font. Maybe you know the name then. I don't know the name of this font. But yeah.
Yeah, there were different fonts used actually, but I think that the fact that it's in capitals and with the V, if that was the question, it's because the Ovtrenoir, let's say black, is labeled by the painter, and might some other bands called Ovtrenoir too, I think.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember, Angeline, exactly.
Yes, there was one more. Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't want to have any trouble with any trademark or anything, so we decided to go with this kind of writing and the V instead of the U.
Okay. So only for like the sake of not being able to or not needing to be having any kind of lawsuit. Clever idea, of course.
Probably.
We all know the stories behind Ghost, who first were like Ghost PC and everything behind that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So you have already spoken in some ways about the beginning of the band and the choice of the name. Then, how did the band get started?
Oh, maybe I can start from the beginning and you will take the end then. So Will.
Oh, so the end is already clear?
No, oh, no, of course not.
I will follow, I think.
No, I mean, initially, Will and so the singer and Julien, the drummer, they played together in another band, I would say 12 years ago. And I think that they really enjoyed the collaboration. And when they left this band, I think that Will started to write a few songs. Actually, it's not really songs because there were no lyrics. It was ambient music. And he contacted Julien and myself and asked if he wanted to play with him. And of course, we were interested. So we started to play. It was great. It was very nice songs. But I guess that something was missing. I mean, for the three of us, maybe we needed something more energetic. So we just stopped playing naturally. And then a few months later, again, William came back to us and said, hey guys, I've got a few more songs, but not the same kind of music. This time it would be more post-hardcore sludge thing. So do you want to try it? Of course, we want to try it. So we started to play and the initial idea was kind of a power trio, I would say. And it was very nice this way, but very quickly we felt like something was missing. So we felt need to add a guitar and what was missing as well was kind of atmosphere, I would say, which was not possible to do with only one guitar, one bass and one drum. So, and of course, William already had someone in mind. So that was then. So he contacted him and then accepted very quickly. So we were very happy about it. Do you want to take it from here?
That's actually pretty much it, I think. Yeah. So
No,
yeah,
no,
you
yeah.
contacted me. So yeah, and yeah, I was happy to work with him at this point. I didn't know Julien and Angeline that much at that time, so it was a good combination of like meeting great people and playing with friends. So
Yeah.
that was it for me. And yeah, we started to reshape first the tracks you already had, guys.
Mm.
Started to work together on how to arrange them, and then we went along and we developed the sound altogether.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And the next step was, I think it was during the tour, or was it before the tour, three years ago? So initially Will was playing guitar and singing, and it felt like he would like to focus more on singing more than playing the guitar. So we added a member, Olivier, who would play guitar instead of Will. So that was the next step.
So from a trio to a quartet to a five-piece. Interesting development. And I also liked something about your first answer, Angeline. You said that William described it as more hardcore / sludge kind of sound. That's very interesting because a lot of people try to label you as a post-metal band. Do you even consider yourself any kind of genre band?
I don't know. I don't like to put labels on music. I think it's very complicated, especially in this kind of music. So I don't know. Then do you think we...
For me, neither. I don't really think in terms of label neither. So yeah, post-metal for sure, in a way that you can hear our backgrounds, our tastes, I think, in our music. And it can be labeled as post-metal. So I can relate to that, but yeah, our goal, sorry, our goal is not to stay in a label that way. We have way more influences and inspirations. So yeah, I can understand the labeling, but if we can get out of it in the future, it will be for me. I mean, it will be something great because I prefer not to be labeled. Like I think it's a better way of thinking in a way. Not a better way of thinking, but I mean the way of thinking that I like at least. And yeah, that's I can understand, but yeah, let's.
I also think that's very interesting because I think also because of a lot of the bands on Consouling Sound are labeled post-metal, but I don't know how you think about it, but I don't think Consouling Sound is a post-metal label.
No, me neither. Actually, I think they're more like, I'd say, experimental in a way label, because they have like way different bands from different horizons, and you can feel there is a connection in all of them because of probably the aesthetic or the let's say the core of the influences or inspirations. But most of them are like not or not even metal, and I think most of the bands on the label are not even metal for me. So yeah, no, I don't consider Consouling as a post-metal or post-hardcore kind of label. I think more like a experimental music label, I think.
Angeline, would you agree?
Oh yeah, we agree.
I think that's the same way that I would think about Consouling Sound. A very different label in a lot of aspects, but I like the aesthetics, just as Dan mentioned. The approach to music, it's very open, and they also are not afraid of signing new bands. I mean, they signed you, and you were back then a relatively new band, if I remember correctly, when you were assigned to Consouling Sounds. Did you feel as if you were newcomers, Angeline?
I don't think I can answer this question because I was a newcomer.
That's exactly why I asked you.
No, that was my first, real band. So I cannot really answer it. So yeah.
Mhm.
Then, what do you think? I mean, it's just that one is.
Yeah, I felt I felt newcomer too. It's I already released music under another name before the first EP of Ovtrenoir came out. But yeah, you're starting a new band, whatever you've done before. It's always like a new beginning in a way. You don't know how it will be. I don't know, welcomed or anything. So yeah, there's always like a new coming aspect, and I personally still feel like as an outsider in a way. I never felt like, yeah, I can arrive on any project and say, yeah, I'm here. I have all my background and everything. Like I always feel this kind of newbie, newcomer, new outsider, as I say. So and I still feel a newcomer, and as far as I'm concerned. So
Maybe we should explain to the audience that Dehn is not anybody in the music scene, but one of the most well-respected musicians that I ever heard of. And I know you wouldn't say it yourself, but
no, I won't. I won't
but that's really the way that, first of all, everybody should check out Treha Sectory and all the other stuff that Dehn has been up to. But also all the other people. If I remember correctly, Angeline, you said it yourself. That was the first record you did, right?
Yeah.
So William is a photographer by profession, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Julien, I think he also was in other bands.
Oh,
before.
he was in many bands actually. So he played. I think he started with hardcore, but more classic hardcore.
Okay.
So he played in 2 bands. I mean, in this kind of music. Many bands. I could not, list one of them.
So when you have people with such different backgrounds, how should I imagine the writing process for Ovtrenoir? Who brings the music to the band?
It's mainly William actually, but it depends really on the song. I mean, there are some songs where he already had kind of the whole thing since the beginning, and we were just working, changing what needed to be changed together. And there are some other songs where he just have some riffs, and we try to put it together then during rehearsals. So he has the basis for each song, and then we all try to contribute.
So did that process change with the last album, with Fields of Fire? Because you said like first it was more William. Did that change a little bit?
No, it's still more William, but for instance, I have the feeling that Dehn is more and more involved, in creating the songs, and he has his own touch, I would say, and adding all the atmospheres and all these kind of things. So, but it has not really changed. No, we just all try to participate anyway, and more, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And you said that first it was kind of a hardcore band. It's very interesting because those roots are, at least let's say, not clearly visible at the beginning when you first listen.
Yeah, but I said post hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also because there are lots of very interesting instruments on your records. Then I heard you play the theremin on it. Is that right?
Yeah, but it's playing is like a really big word, because I don't play it. Like it's really hard instrument to play actually. But so I actually try to play it. So that's mainly to create like escapes and ambiences. But yeah, I could not play it live easily now, like unless a month of practice, and I unfortunately don't practice much the instrument, mostly because of lack of time. But yeah, I try to incorporate more different sonorities, like different sounds. They can be very I'd say far in the background, or more more like a real instruments, but I mainly used it for bringing atmospheres on some tracks. And I wish I can play it more and trick it more to get it more interesting or something. But yeah, it's interesting in my opinion, and I think everyone in the band shares this vision that you have like the basis that it will always be a guitar, a bass, and a drum, then vocals.
Yeah.
But it's always interesting to bring other sounds, maybe from other instruments, because we have a lot of instruments around us that we can try to make it sound as an ambience to get a feeling out of it. And so this is why we're interested in having different kind of sounds coming all in all in the tracks.
Yeah, I think also with a theremin, I mean, like it's one of the few touchless instruments there are. So
Yeah.
it's probably one of the hardest things to learn.
Oh yeah, it's really
also with a very, very interesting historical background.
Yeah, for sure.
Theremin was a spy, basically.
Yeah, true.
Very, very funny. So, how did the collaboration with Consouling Sound happen? Did they approach you? Did you approach them?
No. Actually, I mean, when we started to play, it was really for pleasure, I would say. Just the joy to play what William wrote, and that's all. And there was no intention. I mean, from a long-term perspective, there was no real ambition. I mean, of course, we would have loved to play all these songs on stage, but that was not the primary objective, I would say, initially. It was just to have fun together and have pleasure. And when we recorded it, I remember that when the recording was ready, we said, oh, maybe we could send it to Consouling Sound, because Dehn already had connections, of course, with Consouling. But the idea was really to send it in kind of for your information. For your information, we recorded this EP 2 weeks ago, and we just hope that you will like it. And that's all, nothing more. And so we were really surprised when they came back to us. Maybe, I think it was a few hours later. They came back to us and say, oh, we love it. We want to sign you. It was, wow. So we never thought it would happen.
And that was that's the story of the first EP, right? 2000, yes. Was it 16? 16, 18,
yeah,
something like that? Yeah. So, Ovtrenoir is a very fitting band for Consouling Sound, because I always have the feeling that when I literally look at your records, there is a certain aesthetic behind it. So, how important are the visuals, or how important is the visual aspect for Ovtrenoir? Maybe that is something that Dehn can answer.
Yeah, it's very. It's really central to every project we do. I think visual has a very strong place in every project. We sometimes create music with the image in mind, and we try to translate them into music. And I think I can speak too for William that the visual aspect of every musical project should be really connected to the music and really working together. So it's really something that we don't do because we have to do something visual around the packaging or something. That's really a whole universe we want to propose and to get. So yeah.
So for both of you, would you say that Ovtrenoir is a audio visual experience?
I'd say more for Ovtrenoir. I'd say more audio in the first place, because there's the main medium is the music, but we don't consider the packaging or the visual that comes with an album just like something secondary. That's really something that comes with the music too. Like if you look at the cover, there's intentions we wanted to put into music that gets into a visual too, and it should give other inputs to people that listen to the music. But we hope that if we had more time to make it happen. That it will be a lot of videos or something different. We're trying actually we started to put more live visuals that as a connection with the mic of William too, so the visual can respond to the music on live. So that's really something we want to develop in the future when we'll be able to make new concerts in the future. We'll try to develop this kind of experiences, let's say, or of propositions, and having something really connected to the music that has a visual aspect, that it will be something to see too for the audience.
Sounds very very far advanced, and it also sounds highly ambitious, which is, I think, something that also would ring true with your music. It's not just something that has been put out there in a quick way, because when I listen to it, it sounds as if there has been a tremendous amount of detail in the songs of Ovtrenoir. So how spontaneous are you when entering the studio? Is there space for spontaneity? Angeline?
There is space, but? Yeah, there's a but. For me, I have to say it's not very spontaneous. I am not. I know that Dan will, say something about it, but I don't feel at the level, of the other musicians. So I need to be very prepared for the studio, and if we have to make changes, of course I will do it, but I try to prepare as much as I can, and I try to stick to it as much as I can during recording. And so, but maybe because I'm not comfortable enough yet to improvise, during recording. So I think the other members of Ovtrenoir feel, there is much more spontaneity during recording.
But don't underestimate yourself. You're doing very,
oh,
very
yeah.
well.
I agree with that
Very
statement. Don't
well.
underestimate yourself.
Because I do remember seeing you on stage back in 2019, back at Roadburn. So what was that experience like? Dan, for you, that was a workaholic weekend?
Yeah, pretty much.
Free?
But even for you, Angeline, you had like two shows in 2 days too.
Yeah. So what was the experience like? Roadburn.
Was one of a kind experience, let's sort of say. We I think I can speak for everyone that we all dreamed about it for so long. Like when it happened, it was like really first I felt a lot of pressure, like real pressure. Not that I don't feel any pressure in a daily basis, but this one was really strong. Like really, you don't have to fuck this up, or it was hard for me to sleep during this month before. But yeah, it was, fortunately for us, like everything went so good that and we didn't have any problems with, human problems, technical problems. Like nothing happened to block us or to make us more uncomfortable. The welcome was from the Roadburn and the public was really good. So it was really this kind of experience, that you want to really overpass yourself. Like we tried to add each concert that I played, so I speak for myself, and especially the Ovtrenoir one, we tried the visual thing the first time at the Roadburn. So we really wanted to upgrade or level up what we do. So we worked hard on rehearsal and in our sound, in our stage comfort, let's say. Like I think we felt more confident at this time too. And it was. Yeah, Angeline, I will let you add a few things.
Yeah. No, that was an amazing experience. Honestly, I still cannot believe that it happened. No, but first it was great from regarding the organization of the Roadburn. Maybe that's because I'm a French person, but when I think of festival, I think of mud first, I guess. You see, mud and drunk people everywhere and beer everywhere. Maybe I should not say that.
Not as if there is no beer at Roadburn.
No,
it was a lot.
It's not, Yeah, I mean, in France, usually festivals, you are outside and usually it's raining, so there is mud everywhere. So that was kind of the opposite situation, and Roadburn is so well organized. I mean, the infrastructures, the venues are so great. I mean, I had never seen, I mean, something like this. So first we were, yeah, very well welcomed by the organization, and it was also great. And as Dan said, I mean, the way we were welcomed by the audience. I mean, honestly, there was no expectation, I would say, you know, especially for Ovtrenoir, because again, it was kind of a new band. So we just, yeah, no expectation. I mean, we thought if there is no one, you know, in the room, that's fine. We will play.
There were lots of people there.
And when we arrived, you know, and just before the show, and we could see that there was a queue actually in front of the room. We were just, wow, okay, so we have to do it great. So that was amazing. And when we just did the sound check, I remember that a few people started to sing during the sound check, and we were just, wow, so people know us and they know the songs. So that's a lot of pressure, but also a lot of pleasure, I would say, to see it.
Correct
so no, that was
really,
amazing.
Really thankful that it happened.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. At that point, you only had the one real EP out, right?
Yes.
More or less.
Yeah.
Yes.
At this point, yeah. We were planning on recording the album.
Yeah.
But
which came out a year late.
Point,
yeah.
At this point, we had only the EP.
Yeah. So Dan, that is a question for you, because you, or also for you, Angeline, because you played 2 gigs, Dan played 3 gigs. How was because Dan, you said that you slept bad during the month before, so March and April. How was the night after the first gig? Still nervous or?
Yeah, it was. I was pretty nervous because we had to play the day after too. I felt a bit relieved at the beginning of the night because the first 2 concerts I had went great, so I felt a bit less pressure. But we had to play the next morning, and so it started to grow back again. So no, I didn't have that much rest until after the show the next day. When it finished, I felt like really. I never felt that before. I'd say.
During one of the gigs, the Throne gig, you had a huge central piece on stage. I still remember that very vividly, also because a friend of ours then did that, Ian Koenen.
Hi to him.
Yeah, shout out to Ian, one of the nicest guys as well. Is there anything, or is there something that you could say, like, okay, that would be, or something like that would be cool to have for Ovtrenoir? Because you have been talking about visuals, and this is like...
It can be something that can... as for myself, and I really like the fact that live performances can be more than... Not that I don't like concerts, of course, but just more than a concert, so to say. Like, there's this aspect that is really great. That's something more, let's say, not punk, but the straightforward. That's you just play. You're in a small venue, and you have the crowd just in front of you, and it's something really powerful too. But sometimes I feel that it's great to try things and to bring the experience on some other territories. Let's say, like, to bring visual, to bring performance, to be just more like just a live concert, so to say, and something more complete. This is so we can totally fit with Ovtrenoir too.
So am I right in thinking that you are more aiming for a performance less than a normal regular concert?
That's for myself. I think so. More and more, the more I get, let's say, experience on a live aspect, the more I want. That's something that appeals me. I don't know if it's the right direction or something, but that's really something I want to try. I envision in a way. So to speak more about more of a performance than a concert. Yeah, I kind of relate to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, there have been bands before who did that, some kind of
Yeah,
like
sure.
stage performances. Is there anyone who influences you in that aspect?
I'd say
Any
yeah.
band?
In a way, Amen Ra did influence me on this aspect because they've done that for like 10 to 15 years ago. But I remember that was one of the first time I met Amen Ra was in the famous Kortrijk show with the suspension and everything. And I just before I went to a concert in London to see Ulver. I think it was they played like 3 times before or something, and I made those. I went to visit those shows back to back, like a month before and after. And the Ulver show was like in a theater, and there was something very special about it. Like all the stage scenery was like pretty sober, but I really already felt like, yeah, there's something more than just people behind their instruments. You know, that already like shocked me. And then I went to the Amen Ra show, and I remember at the time I didn't even done any concert in my life at this point. It was 2009. I never played live at this point before, and I really felt something like, yeah, okay, this is first the kind of things that really crush me, and I want to see more. And when I will feel confident enough, that's the kind of things I feel that I want to develop, and yeah, for sure, those 2 bands influenced me, and many bands done that before, like includes stage scenery or performers or any kind of things. But yeah, I think those 2 was really yeah. I don't know the word for that. It was a starting point for me. Yeah.
Angeline, is there anybody that influenced you in your musical performance?
Huh. I don't know. I mean, for the way I move, no, because I'm just trying to do what I can, and I just try to move. So I cannot say that I would get inspiration from anyone, because I don't think that you can change the way you really, I mean, maybe if you work on it for a very long time, I don't know. But for me right now, even if I work on it, I don't feel like I would be able to move another way. That's my own way of moving. So moving, no.
I also meant your style of playing. Like
playing, no, actually, no. I don't think so. And screaming, of course, there's a lot of inspiration. I mean, I can think of different women singers. So I cannot compare to those ones, but they are kind of an example for me, I would say. So, yeah.
And when you play live, what does it do to both of you? How do you feel that moment, or how do you memorize it?
Please.
Yeah, okay. We come back to the topic that, I should not discuss, but as I still don't feel, at the same level, for me, it's kind of a mixed feeling for the moment. It's kind of a 50-50, 50 of I really focus on what I have to play and just to be sure that, I will do it right. And another 50% of I just let it go and try to feel the music, and that's all. I try not to think to the audience because that would scare me. I don't even think about the lights or anything else. I'm just in my own world at this moment and enjoying this moment, I would say. That's all.
Dan, how is it for you?
I think as it's Ovtrenoir related, I think I share the feeling of Angeline most of the time. Like I really want to get the experience, like letting it go for real, and then not being catch back by reality at some point. But yeah, I'm always focused too on what I play. Even if I feel confident, there's always something that bugs me sometimes. And when it happens, it's yeah, I'm getting more focused and just feeling it. Yeah, like get rid of everything. But I have my let's say my techniques to do that. Like most of the time, if you see me on stage looking at the drummer, this is when I want to really go back into the concert, like for real. So I think Angeline can hear me sometimes scream like French insults at this point, because we're most of the time close to each other on stage.
When it does, I have to say it, when he does something wrong, you know, it turns back. So he turns to the drummer and screams. And okay, so I know that he did something wrong.
That's it. You know the secret now.
So for everybody, when he turns around and screams, when he fucked up.
Yeah, that's it.
It will be interesting to see you on stage again. It's interesting the way you describe it, because both of you describe it as a really focused kind of thing, focused on getting the performance right and focused on not fucking anything up.
Yeah.
It's very contrary to what a lot of other bands say about playing live. A lot of other bands describe it as a kind of catharsis on stage. Is there something like that for Ovtrenoir?
Yeah, I think that's the point. But yeah, to be honest, like I can have this kind of feeling when I play alone, for example, because I'm really more confident. I don't even think of what I'm gonna do, because I'm really ready, I'd say. But for Ovtrenoir, I think we still need to do more shows to feel that way. I think it comes with that's the main goal, but the experience make it right, in my opinion. Like make it really good in the. If you lack confidence as Angeline or me on your skills or on yourself in general, I think there will always be this moment you have to go focus again, because it's not that you want to be focused. It's just sometimes your mind. I don't know if it's the same for you, Angeline, but sometimes you're like feeling it, and then your brain is saying to you like, stay focused now. You have like something to do, that you're maybe a solo part or something. And I know like for Ovtrenoir, sometimes it happens to me, like I feel it, I get, yeah, I don't even watch my guitar, or I'm not really focused on my guitar, I'm just focused on the feeling. But then there's something, I don't know what or why it does that, but in my brain something pops like this and say, just like go back to reality for like 2 seconds. There's you have a job to do or something to do at this point. And I can't, unfortunately, I can't control that. So it's not that for me in the beginning, yeah, the live experience should be really, as many bands is like the straightforward and cathartic expression of your music. But there is also like a duty, in my opinion, to sound right to the audience. So sometimes, yeah, the brain and the heart are like mixing all together.
Let's go back to your record, Fields of Fire. What is meant with that term, Fields of Fire?
You wanna talk about it?
Well, you two have to say it. I don't know what you mean.
No, I think, and yeah, the title came, I think, before the cover, but
Yes.
there was an image that William had in mind at this point that I can relate, like watching like a field of like just of like bushes or like fires, and there was an image coming on, and then after that he discovered like a photographer that made that cover actually, and it connected a lot to it. So I think at this point we decided that it's gonna be the name of the album. And the connection was to like it was when we finished the recording. I think Australia started to burn this way. Like there were a lot of bushfires in end of 2019 and 20, and yeah, there was a connection in this, like it's probably more like a dream, in my opinion, or something that came from dreams. but also like yeah, a really reality shock. That's when you dream about something and then you realize that this something is really destructive,
Yeah.
and happening.
Yeah. Like this strange correlation between
Yeah.
dreams and reality, right?
Course.
But is it true or is it just my thinking? I think there is a kind of red thread, like a red line going through the album or through some of the songs, that is connected to fire. Is that just me, or is there really an intended red line?
No, yeah, that was an intended line actually, which came quite naturally. So we did not force ourselves. I mean, it came naturally that that would be the main focus of the album, actually. Yeah.
So when you speak about fire or fields of fire, fire has like two sides. It can be cleaning and cleansing, and it can also be destructive.
Yeah.
Or it can even be a change. What is it for you?
That was exactly what it meant. Actually, that fire can be both destruction and something. It can reflect, you know, the anger, the rage you have inside of you, and something which is destructing, you know, what you are trying to do, what you are thinking. But on the other end, fire is kind of, it allows to clean and start again, I would say, something new, something better. So that's an opportunity to maybe improve yourself, if I can say so. So yeah, that was exactly the intent, both meanings of fire. Then do you want to add anything? I don't know if I covered it.
It's interesting that there are basically, apart from earth, all elements, whether it's fire or water or wind, who have the same powers. So would you describe yourself or your band as some kind of very related to the elements? Or is that just interpretation?
No, I'd say yeah. I'd say yes. As for ourselves, like there's we have an appeal from nature in a way, like more or less for each of us. But there is something that appeals us in that, and I feel some lot of connection, mostly with the fire aspect, like the same symbols Angeline told, like there's it comes a lot to me in my mind. Not that I like to burn things at all, but watching a fire is always something peaceful to my mind. And I feel this connection in that, in a way. I don't know for you, Angeline.
Yeah.
So you are now nearly 5 years on Consouling Sound. Lots of other bands. You have already spoken indirectly about Amen-Ra, Dan. So do you see any kind of similarities between Ovtrenoir and other Consouling Sounds bands?
Yeah, I think for spirit-wise, yeah, I think a lot, because every Consouling Sounds related band I met, we clicked, or we exchanged easily, and I met really great people that we had great connection with. But yeah, so I think in the spirit there are a lot. Like I think I made like a collaboration with Barst, for example, and Fair, that was the old project of Tim, the new bass player of Amen-Ra, and we're really close with him. Yeah, there's even some of our. I think musically there's. I don't know if we played much with the Consouling Sounds, more metal. Let's say we played more with the experimental parts of Consouling, I say.
You said spirit. You mentioned spirit as something. Could you describe that spirit to our audience? What is the spirit behind Consouling Sound?
As far as I'm concerned, it's like always like it's the first time I met people that really are not afraid of you. Let's say that they're really welcoming in a way. They take you as you are and not try to judge you in any kind of way. And it's yeah, it's pretty. I had really good memories of like going to the shop and meeting new people you don't even know, but you know that you are already some kind of connected to, and it's really easy for people like me that are, let's say, more discreet or not really talkative at the first place. That it is pretty easy to connect with people like this way, yeah, I feel that most of the people I've met there, like we have something in common. Whether is it like musical in a musical way or in a artistic way or just like in a human level. And this is why what I liked mostly around it.
Angeline, do you want to add anything to that? Is there any special consoling spirit for you?
No, I mean, I agree with William. Music-wise, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe someone who does not know this kind of music would say that we all play exactly the same kind of music, but that's not my opinion. I think
my wife would say that.
Okay. But no, I think we all play a different kind of music, so not music-wise, but yeah, spirit, attitude-wise, yeah, I think so. I have a feeling that these are all very respectful people, and they're kind of open-minded and taking it very seriously. I mean, we don't take ourselves seriously, but music is something we consider as very important in our lives, and we put, I mean, I have the feeling that we all put something from ourselves into the music. I mean, it really reflects us. We don't try to pretend anything, we don't try to be fake, and I have the feeling it's exactly the same for all the concerning events, I would say. Yeah.
When you have been talking about your music, there is something that I really love about Ovtrenoir, and these are those small, nearly tribal / psychedelic pauses in the songs. I mean, of course, it's a group effort, yeah, but Angeline, you are like part of the rhythm section. I think like that is like one of the most important parts right there, the bass, the drums. Who comes up with those things, those pauses in the songs?
I think the pauses we would decide all together when we have to, make a pause in the song to restart on a new thing, or just to give time to people to digest the first part, I don't know, of the song. And so we decide all together, but when it comes to the way they would be played, I think most pressure is on Julien, the drummer, I would say. The way he would play it. And we really push on the tribal aspect, I would say. I mean, I really enjoy this way of playing drums. That's what I prefer, I would say. That's, when drummer play this way, that's when I have most emotions, I would say. So spontaneously he would do it, but we even push him further, I would say, doing this kind of things. And honestly, for me, it's I would say kind of easy. I mean, I just follow actually. So, and yeah, I think it comes mainly from the drums.
I love the way that you are always trying to play yourself low, which you shouldn't. And everybody else in your band would agree with that, Angeline. Don't play yourself that low. The songs sometimes feel as if they breathe. Is that something that you wanted them to do?
Yeah, I think Dan will answer because he's responsible for this, I guess.
Yeah, you mean? Yeah, I like to consider music as a breathing and not really linear breathing. So yeah, all this aspect is really important for me to not to have something that goes from point A to B, like something more in waves and more in up and down, so to say. And this is really the way I intend and feel music in general.
But I mean, like this way that you play and the way that you construct the songs, of course, that works if your audience understands you. And I mean, we all know that everybody relates to music differently. Everybody listens to music differently. Is there anything by now, then, after lots of years of writing music, where you say, okay, that's how I can get my message across best?
No, I'm not sure. Not sure there is any any rules. Like every time I start to zero, to be honest. Like every every album or every tracks or something, there is always something different, and you years didn't get me confident at all, or get me any kind of truth or something on how to get something clear. And I think I'm not the clearest guy on earth. Like for me, the way I express myself are like pretty clear, but I get that most of the times people interpret it differently. So I don't feel that that's gonna be the way. And I kind of like too that the fact that sometimes I have a strong image in mind. I want to translate into music, but it gets only the happy accident. Like you wanted to go away, and you realize you went another way. That is maybe more the way you wanted to have without expressing it. But you know, to be honest, no, I don't know how to be. I just try to be, yeah, to be as authentic as I can be, you know, like and the rest is I can't control anything about it. So I don't.
Is that something that is important for Ovtrenoir as a whole, being authentic?
Yeah, of course. For as after Angeline, I think you can answer that too. But yeah, of course, like playing music without being honest with yourself, like it's hard.
I mean, authentic in the process of creation, but also authentic on stage, I would say. For instance, I mean, the visuals are, you know, predefined, prepared, of course, but we don't prepare the way we will behave on stage, for instance. We think that this aspect of the show should be spontaneous. Otherwise, I think it would look prepared, and it would, yeah. So, yes.
Then we're at a pop concert.
Sorry?
Then we would be at a pop concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also, I think that is the thing where authenticity is always happening on stage in connection with the audience, right? I mean, even if you don't watch the audience, you still get some kind of feedback. I mean, like, I remember your shows, and even though some of you were not looking at us, there was this kind of connection.
Yeah, right? you can feel it without watching it. I think you can feel when you're getting attention or a warm welcome or even a cold welcome or something. You can feel the energy flowing all around in a concert. That's for me like staring. I sometimes stare at the audience, but I don't really watch the audience. Like I just see a flow of people, but I don't get any details or something.
Because we're all just wearing black.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that is very interesting, you know, because a lot of people who have been to your shows, doesn't matter if it's Tria Sectori or Throne or Ovtrenoir, a lot of people say that there is this intimacy and this kind of connection to the band. That is very interesting that you both say, in some ways, we try to not focus on the audience. Very, very interesting. Because I think that a lot of bands try to focus on the audience and don't achieve the same effect that you do, which speaks highly to your musicianship. Really, highly. So we only have 2 questions to go, and then we're already done. If you could choose to do a split album with one Consouling Sound band, okay, let's say 2. which one would be interesting for you?
Angeline, you have to answer because I've done that already.
You have to do another one. Bas doesn't
Okay.
count.
All right. So yeah, I think I'd go for Samovar myself because I really love their approach, and we shared already a split with Reto that play on the Barst Trimurti album, but his own band is called Samovar, and it's really interesting. Yeah, it's I think I'd like to go for a split together.
Yeah. Did you listen to his new album with Marco from Dark Buddha Rising?
Yeah, a bit, but it's really really good, and I really need to get more of it. Yeah, but yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah. So also shout out to those two, Reto and Marco. Very very good album. Also, yeah, released on Consouling Sound this year. Now, so Angeline, do you have or do you just want to be too friendly and not?
No, honestly, I don't feel like I would have any preference. That's very difficult to answer. Okay. I'm sorry, I will skip that one.
You had one joker.
One joker.
One joker, but only one. And you cannot call anybody from your band. Okay, last question. This will be done. This is done for Consouling Sound, and we all are happy that this record label is around. So now you both have some time to send your greetings to Nele and Mike and everybody else at Consouling Sound. Now is your time.
Oh, okay. I will try to start. Oh, we are not prepared for this one, right? No. So you wanted it to be spontaneous.
Yes.
Okay. No, I would just say thank you so much for trusting us since the beginning. Even if you only had one EP, you did not know what would happen on stage. You didn't know what would the band become. I mean, in the end, and you trusted us since the beginning, and there were no constraints. No, not a number of shows to perform, not a number of albums to perform. You just signed us, and we felt so free to do whatever we wanted. So no, just thank you so much for your trust since the beginning.
Dan.
And I won't say a word. I just want to have them in my arms now.
There's a French way of saying thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you two very much for joining me here.
Thank you very much.
We'll be happy. We'll all be happy to see you on stage, and we wish you all the best for hopefully the next 20 albums by Ovtrenoir. I can't wait for more, actually, and all the best. Thank you very much for doing so. So that was it, and enjoy your evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.